Very good evening to you. Thanks for clicking on to this short edition of Vogan'S Views on Europe for today, the 15th of May. We've seen yet more snow once again this morning across parts of England, Staffordshire, Cheshire, and up into County Durham as well. Fresh coverings of snow, cold, icy winds, certainly not indicative of the middle of May, that's for sure. And yet tonight we've got clear skies, light winds, and widespread frost away from towns and cities. Temperatures could be -2 to -4 Celsius, would you believe? A totally opposite story across southwestern Europe. We've seen deadly heat across parts of the Canaries, up into southern parts of Iberia, where temperatures are widely into the upper 90s and 100-degree Fahrenheit readings. So just remarkably hot across the southwest, remarkably chilly across the northwest, unsettled across Central Europe, warm across Eastern Europe. Now, as I skip through towards the weekend, we're going to be starting to see changes taking place. By Friday, you notice here, the trough starting to sweep southwards. We'll see yet another system work its way into the UK and Ireland, bringing wind and rain, particularly so across the northern half of the UK, later tomorrow and into Thursday. At the same time, we've got a trough starting to develop and push eastwards. An upper level system is going to continue to produce unsettled conditions across southeastern parts of Europe, while the heat really builds as this trough digs southeastwards into Greece and into parts of Turkey as well. That heat from Africa, from the Middle East deserts, is all going to get projected north and northwestwards, all the way up into northern parts of Scandinavia. So we could even be talking about 20s all the way up to the Arctic Circle, while at the same time we see very chilly air starting to work its way southwestwards, building into Iberia, and that will kick the heat out. Notice that by Saturday the heat is starting to leave Spain, pushing eastwards into the central Mediterranean. By Sunday, you can see here the trough really dropping down, much more unsettled conditions, much cooler conditions across Iberia, while the heat is all pushed eastwards. Notice here the ridging taking place as the trough sweeps southwards. We see that ridge building across Germany into Poland as well. There's the area of cut-off low pressure that will support unsettled conditions once again. Now, interesting developments I'm noticing here off the Ecmwf into next week. Now, you can see here much cooler, much different pattern across southwestern parts of Europe that's been baking over the course of the past week across Spain and Portugal. By Tuesday, you notice what's taking place here. This area of low pressure, large area of upper level low pressure, starts to cut off from the main jet stream. What we'll see is ridging starting to develop over top of this area of low pressure. That means to say, folks, that it looks as if early to middle next week, the Ecmwf is trying to show high pressure, ridging, and warm air working its way into the UK and Ireland. That's very interesting indeed. As this trough digs down, look at the heat, the very intense heat from central parts of the Sahara Desert working northwards, and this here will actually, in a modified fashion, work its way into the UK, riding around this upper level low. So very interesting what I'm seeing here. This is the first signs of the true warmth once again trying to work its way into the UK. Two areas of cut-off low pressure, the jet stream way up to the north, way up into the Arctic. Warm air is cycling around these upper lows, and the UK and Ireland look as if it's going to be susceptible to warmer conditions next week, with sunshine, temperatures into the 20s. So certainly would be a welcome relief after what we woke up to this morning across parts of England. Notice the heat across parts of Egypt, up into Cyprus, Turkey, Greece. We could be talking about 100-degree heat across this part of the world into the middle part of next week. By Thursday, yep, we've got that upper level low starting to push its way into Central Europe. The high pressure warmth still over the UK and Ireland. Might be a bit unsettled though, so it's worth checking out. This is quite a wee bit out. But keep checking back, folks. I'm interested to see what next week will bring. It looks as if, right now anyway, we could be looking at some warmer conditions, more settled conditions, and those nights, while we see temperatures potentially rising into the 20s across parts of the UK next week, we could be talking about milder evenings because because that air mass is warmer. And that certainly would be welcome relief for the UK and Ireland. But will it last? Well, that's a big question, isn't it? We've got a trough, a large trough, cooler across Greenland, down into the North Atlantic. Well, could that be heading down after this warm spell? Wait and see. Keep checking back and I'll keep you up to date. Bye for now.